questions, guys?
I'm tired. We're gonna go.
Is that the kind of stuff you had been seeing out of Alec in the fall and in the preseason?
Yeah, I mean he's been solid. You know, we've talked about it in our pressers that he's earned the opportunity to pitch on Friday night. And I thought that was pretty indicative of what he's been doing all fall and carried it over to our early spring stuff. So yeah, that was definitely a quality start out of him.
Is that the kind of example where he throws 60 strikes in that range, where he's pounding the zone, striking guys out, not getting behind in the count that you want to see?
Yeah, I mean that formula's been around for a long time, and you know he's shown maturity. Like, you know, we've said he's shown the progression, and you know tonight he was very effective staying ahead. His defense liked playing behind him because they knew he was throwing strikes. So yeah, I thought it was a wonderful performance to kick off the season, so the other guys can see how to do it.
Skip, what went into the decision to bat Trevor in the leadoff spot? What do you see from him there?
Well, I mean, as you can see tonight, it works counts. I mean, the important part is to get people on base for Torkelson. And, you know, he's not your prototypical speed guy, although he would disagree with that. You know, but I think you saw it tonight. He's got a good eye at the plate, and if he can continue, and he can swing it too. He's not just up there for a walk. But if he can continue to work counts and get on base, that's going to make those guys behind him that much more effective.
How much of a testament to Alec's success tonight was finally having Sam back on the plate?
Well, you know, Sam Ferry's good. I mean, that's something that, you know, we've missed a little bit. And again, Lyle Lynn's good too. But I've said, I mean, Sam has separated himself because he makes those guys better. He does a good job. He's got a good feel back there. And I know the guys like throwing to him, but, you know, anytime you can get a player out there basically almost like a coach, that's going to be a benefit. And I thought, and I not only thought he did it well tonight, that's who he is. I mean, unfortunately for him, he's had a couple of years of, you know, of the injury thing. And I've said umpteen times to this group, I said, you know, wait till you see him because he's pretty good.
It seemed like the guys were really comfortable today. What was the kind of feeling like before the game?
They're focused. I mean, they're, you know, we just said it right now. Though one game doesn't make a season, but you know, I think they're tired of all the, you know, stuff being said. And, you know, they've worked really hard to, you know, put themselves in position to, you know, finally go out and lay it on the field. And the only way that you get back on track with your program and is winning baseball games. And I thought, you know, more importantly for me though, is how we played. We were solid. We were solid every facet of the game, starting pitching, defensively, and got the key hits. I think we got 10 runs on 8 hits, I believe. You know, so the guys were producing when it mattered with guys on base.
Obviously, he had a big cushion, but what did you think of Tolman's collegiate debut?
Well, that was you know, we were hoping that we could get, because of, as we've said in our little sessions leading up to this with all of us, is that, you know, these guys have done, some of these freshmen have done well, but we still don't know what they're going to do until the lights are on. So it was nice to see him get out there, get a little, as we say, dirt under the spikes a little bit, but, you know, you saw it. I mean, he's pretty good.
Just from the freshmen in general, you talked about during the scrimmage this past weekend that you were expecting a little bit more than just the regular high school play. Did you think that you saw that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, they, you know, I thought very well, and, you know, but again, we got a lot of baseball left to play this weekend, and we're going to have to, you know, throw some of those guys out there and test them again. But you know, from what we saw on the young lad Tolman there at the end, at the back of the game, I think it was pretty good.
How important is it to start just on a strong foot like this, or can opening day performances be a little overblown?
You know, it's 56 games, you know, so regardless of what would happen tonight, you know, we certainly weren't going to lose confidence. That said, I think given some of the tone of, you know, what we've been portrayed has irritated a lot of people in that locker room. And, you know, and my fear is that they were going to come out and try to play for everybody else and try to prove everybody wrong. And, you know, I didn't think they did that tonight. I could tell in the infield we're about as focused as we've been. These guys, you know, they want to play well. You don't know, you know, with you know, a team that hasn't won a lot in the last couple of years, you know, I'd be lying to you if I said an important start wouldn't be good, because you're still trying to figure, hey, are we or aren't we? Well, this was a step in the right direction of saying, hey man, you know, you can do this. You can throw strikes, you can pick the baseball up, and you know, I think we're gonna hit a little bit. So, again, I love the good start, but had it been the other way, I wouldn't have been too much different in here either, because that's a good baseball team in there, and we'll let that play out as we progress through the season.
Can you feel a different intensity with this team, just wanting to change what the last 2 years have been?
I would say it isn't so much wanting to change, you know, and I'll be very, you know, careful and say not change for everybody else, but yeah, I mean, they've grown up, and you know, they know what they're capable of, so they're focused on being good for them. And you know, I thought that was, like I said, a step in the right direction. It's not just what you guys see on the field, but it's, you know, it's every aspect of the program, how things are handled in the locker room. You said the feel's good. And this is you know, much has been made about our roster size. Doesn't matter. Roster size doesn't matter. It's the people that you have on your team. Are they in it? Are they on board? And this is a very close team, regardless of how many guys are on the roster. So,
Do you think that there's a certain amount of positive motivation that can come from perhaps negative attention from the media?
what do you mean?
Well, you mentioned that the way that people are portraying the team. Do you think that there's any positive motivation that can come out of that for the guys, or do you think it just creates sloppy play?
I don't know. We didn't make any errors tonight. So.
Right.
About those errors, last year you guys had a really young infield, almost all freshmen at times, but today, you know, those players have another year under their belt. What do you think about the defense from tonight?
Well, you know, we've been saying that. I've been asked probably 1,000 times in the off season is, you know, hey, about the defense. I said, let people grow up. I mean, you know, and I don't mean that facetiously. We had a very young team last year, and as you pointed out, our entire infield was freshmen. If you go around and you look at teams, even their team tonight, you know, their younger players really struggled tonight. That happens with young guys until they get experience under the belt. So regardless of the circumstances last year, we know we have good players here. We know we didn't put up the win total that anybody wanted. But the one thing you couldn't take away that we were getting last year was experience. And we know that experience is going to pay off. And again, I don't want to make a lot out of this game, because I would tell you if we lost it, I wouldn't be sitting here making a lot. That's one game, you know. But I like what I saw tonight, you know. And you know, our plan is to build on that.
It seems like guys were really persistent at the plate. I feel like the best example of that was Lyle Lynn's RBI single. He hit off like 5 foul balls. What did you see in terms of that?
Well, they you know, I credit Mike and Ben. You know, offensively, you know, we really went into this thing with a plan of what we wanted to do with Sheehan and others. And I thought the guys, as well as we've ever done since I've been here, have stayed with it. Because it's one thing to, you know, to say, hey, yeah, we buy into the plan, or you sit in meetings, you go over video and say, I'm gonna buy into it, and then you take it out of the game and it disappears. I thought our guys really stayed with it. As you pointed out, Lyle Lynn, we kind of joked, you could probably find some stats on him, but he was bad last year with runners at third, less than 2 outs. I mean, it wasn't until I think into the season we finally got one in, so we were kind of like, you know, joking about that tonight. Hey, we got it over with tonight. And you know, Lyle's a good hitter, been a good hitter for 2 years. But I think that what you see is a bunch of guys understanding that, you know, buying into a certain approach, buying into the team approach, you're going to have success. So